with a smile on our face. We will sail through this. We will change the trajectory of the waves together. We will make it to the end. That will be the success of every one of us. The worst pandemic in modern history, the entire world is going through this dangerous pandemic with COVID-19 or named coronavirus, which has no religion, no caste, no creed or country. Our ancestors, legends and leaders have gone through tougher situations than this, with lots of sacrifices and struggles. Let's follow the direction of the authorities and maintain social distancing, which is extremely critical for each and everyone. Every life is precious and every life counts. You must have seen that the services provided by our doctors, nurses, health workers, police personnel are remarkable and appreciable. My salute to each one of them. But did we ever think, why this pandemic, COVID-19? Who are responsible for it? Are we humans? Yes. Let me tell you, as habitat and biodiversity loss increase globally, the coronavirus outbreak may be just the beginning of mass pandemics. January 1996, Ebola, a deadly virus, was born when villages in Africa skinned, chopped, and eaten a chimpanzee from the forest. Humans have been threatened by various viruses and pathogens and new diseases such as Ebola, HIV, Nipah, swine flu, and dengue, etc. A number of researchers today think that it is actually humanity's destruction of biodiversity that creates the conditions for new viruses and diseases such as COVID-19. So it is humans who are held responsible for it. What will we do now? Change. C stands for COVID, H stands for Hertz, A stands for all, and N.G.E stands for nothing is going to end, means change. COVID hurts all and nothing is going to end. So we must change. Let me quote the great Mahatma Gandhi's words. Be the change you want to see in the world. Change. Change must come from all categories of societies. We must think about global biosecurity, find the weak points and bolster the provision of health care. Otherwise, we can expect more of the same. We are in an era now of chronic emergency. Diseases are more likely to travel further and faster than before. So change. It means change in human behavior. The solutions start with education and awareness. We can't predict where the next pandemic will come from. So we need mitigation plans to handle the worst possible scenarios. The only certain thing is that the next one will certainly come. The air you breathe, the water you drink, and the food you eat all rely on biodiversity, but right now it is in crisis because of us. Biodiversity is the most complex feature of our planet, and it is the most vital. Without biodiversity, there is no future for humanity. As the human population rises, the wild areas are raised up to create farmland, housing, and industrial sites. Poaching and hunting for food is another major factor. More than 300 mammal species, from chimpanzees to hippos to bats and elephants and rhinos, are being killed or eaten into extinction. Pollution is a killer too, with orcas and dolphins being seriously harmed by long-lived industrial pollutants. We also heard some kind of genetic damage on various animals caused by the kind of industrial pollution. A three-headed baby was reportedly born in North Sumatra, Indonesia. Strangely, cyclops sharks, two-headed lobsters, eight-legged goats, etc. are also found in the world. There is no doubt about the increased levels of cosmic radiation combined with nuclear accidents and high levels of industrial pollution in the world. So maybe we should expect more three-headed babies and other mutant creatures. Also, genetic engineering produces genetically modified animals and plants. If they are introduced into the environment, they can affect the biodiversity, such as existing species can be overrun by more dominant new species. Global trade contributes further harm. Amphibians have suffered one of the greatest declines of all animals due to a fungal disease spread around the world by the pet trade. Global shipping has also spread highly damaging invasive species around the planet, particularly rats. Another important and hardest hit of all habitats may be rivers and lakes. Freshwater animal population in these have collapsed largely following huge water extractions for farms, dams, people and pollution. Nothing on Earth is experiencing more dramatic change at the hands of human activity. Changes to the climate may be reversible even if that takes centuries or millennia. But once species become extinct, especially those unknown to science, there's no going back. There's no use crying over the spilt milk. Giving nature the space and protection it needs is the only answer. Wildlife reserves are the obvious solution. Making the animals worth more alive than dead is the key. All along, the approach should be to highlight the value of biodiversity. Look at the tipping point that moves biodiversity loss into ecological collapse is an urgent priority. Along with biodiversity, and another important subject needs to be addressed is the damage that the human causes to the environment. It's in large. First of all, let me say that I don't want to say to protect the environment. We all need to create a world where the environment does not need protecting. Environment is life and pollution is death. No intelligent species would destroy their own environment, as our environment is our life. Although it is true, the earth will go through cyclic changes. Doing our part for the environment is a responsibility we all must bear. With this lockdown period, we must have experienced or realized lot many things related to the environment. Our daily actions that we take can have an impact on the environment around us, like reduce overall consumption. Start by looking around your house. Donate or sell items you no longer need. Repurpose the items you may not have used in a while. Practice root to stem cooking. Practicing root to stem or root to leaf cooking is another way to minimize food waste and help the environment. Curb energy consumption. Don't forget to turn off lights in hallways and rooms when you leave those areas. During the daytime hours, blinds can be pulled close to keep the house cool or open to let in natural sunlight instead of using energy by turning on lights. Keep an eye on water usage. Those of us who have water at our fingertips need to be responsible and not waste water. Make changes to your driving habits. Keep up with routine maintenance on your vehicle. Make your next vehicle a hybrid, bike, walk, or take public transportation at least these words once again as the earth, the air, the land and the water are not an inheritance from our forefathers, but unknown from our children. So we have to hand over to them, at least as it was handed over to us. Let's all come together in unity with our seemingly diverse roles and responsibilities to protect our world and our environment. My prayers for early recovery for those still suffering from the COVID-19 virus, and hope they get back to their homes hale and hearty. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansasaram Bhujagendraram Sada Vasannam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Saitam Navami. Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Sahanau bhunaktu saviryam karvavahai tejasvinavaditamastu mahavidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.